Evers who were in the presidential guard were not spared because they were Evers. They were killed. You understand? The coup d'etat, the ministers who were arrested and dumped into prison without charge and without trial included Evers. They included Reverend Booker, who was an Ever. You understand? They included Reverend Booker, who was an Ever. So how does this become an Ever versus who? How does this issue become Ever versus others? It doesn't make sense. It's pedestrian. It's unbelievable. And this is the leadership of the minority in parliament. Everything must be reduced to one tribe against the other. Can you believe it? I am completely disgusted by the level of debate. I am ashamed by the level of debate. Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, in 2026, we are going to take an important national decision. Whether you are for it or against it, come with sensible arguments and stop playing this tribal card. Because both of them are playing tribal cards. So if you're against the renaming, then you're against the gas. If you're for the renaming, then you're against the Evers. What level of
So his current name, adding that there was no basis for changing the original name of the airport. Mr. Erega stressed that the previous name change was not fair to the people of Accra, that they have given you land to build an airport and the airport is named after them, and you have gone to change and put your name when you did not give land for the construction of the airport. We are resetting Ghana. The majority leader stated that a decision to revert the airport's name had nothing to do with the personality of Kotoka. I do not know him, and so I do not think there is a reason why an airport should not be named after him. But if you go and change somebody's name and put your name tomorrow, somebody can also remove your name and put somebody else's name. So I think that Accra International Airport honors the people of Accra who have sacrificed their land for the building of the capital city. Now, other leaders in the briefing were the minority leader Alexander Markin, the clerk of parliament, or the clerk to parliament, Ebenezer Abuma Jetro, the deputy the deputy clerk in charge of corporate and financial management, Dr. Gloria Saku Kumeu, the coordinating director of public affairs Kate Addo, and the media relations director David Damoa. Obviously, the matter is back to the front burner again. Accra International Airport, and you can see the 3D drawings of it. This is how Kotoka will now look if the bill is passed and the renaming happens. Accra International Airport. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I'm very, very deeply worried.
Why?
About the fact that national discourse is being reduced to theater. There's too much theater in everything. So we are not, allowed by the circumstances to discuss national issues based on empirical evidence, based on logical deductions and so on. There's too much theater. And that is reflected in the current debate about whether or not to change the name or not to change the name. As a matter of fact, reasons given for changing the name and reasons given for retaining the name lack any they lack any substance. Let me be mild. Let me be diplomatic. Very mild.
Okay.
They lack any substance. Childish in the extreme. You understand? You have a majority leader announcing that the name of the airport is going to be changed. And the primary reason for changing the name of the airport is that it's located in Accra, and the land which was used for the construction of the airport was given by the people of Accra. By logical extension,
thank you.
Everything in Accra should be named Accra.
Absolutely, Angwesi. You just made my day.
By logical extension.
You just made my day.
I mean, unbelievable.
Just make my day angry.
No. Is that how our leaders think? It's so very shocking. So by logical extension, if God chiefs give land for the construction of any and everything, it should be named Accra. And the naming of the airport as Kojo International Airport is seen as a crime against gas. How? That's problematic. Then we move on to the minority leader. Oh my goodness. And he's even worse than the majority leader. His reason for opposing the change of name is that the name belongs to an Ewe or somebody from the Volta region. And that if you change it, you must necessarily annoy the people of the Volta region. He reduces it to ethnicity, to some base, bigoted, nonsensical tribalism. This is the debate. Are you not shocked? This is the level of debate. Now, if this debate was probably taking place in some God-forsaken ghetto of drug addicts and so on, no problem. That's the level you would expect. But this debate is taking place in Parliament. The foremost law-making institution in our country. This is the level of the debate. Can you believe it? I'm so shocked. Look, the agitation for the change of name of the Kojo International Airport has a long history. It started in the 1960s. And initially it was led by people like, Johnny Hansen, F.S. Hansen, Dr. Lutrot and others. Over the years, there was a point at which the National Union of Ghana students called for the change of name. The Convention People's Party has always insisted that the name should change. The Afro-Asian People's Solidarity Organization has called for this name to be changed, and so on. Indeed, there was one time when I listened to an international stand-up comedian make the point that Ghana is a very strange place, You fly to the airport, you arrive at the airport, and you are greeted with the name of Kutoka, who Baturi and Nkrumah government. And who stood for principles which were completely opposed to Augustino Neto's principles and so on. And then you drive through Augustino Neto Street and so on. I mean, and he did such an excellent job, showed the contradictions, and so on. Now, I have always believed that the name of the airport needs to be changed for good reason. One, the 1966 coup was planned, instigated, and carried out by the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America. No doubt at all about it. Indeed, the declassified documents of the CIA showed that very clearly. In fact, evidence provided by John Stockwell, who was one of the leading agents of the CIA, confirmed that. A book authored by Richard D. Mahoney, who was the son of the U.S. ambassador in Ghana at the time, confirms that, with documents and so on, confirms that. So there's no doubt at all that this coup was instigated, planned, and executed by the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America, using local agents, some of whose names have never been made public. You understand? Based on what I know, and I've done a lot of work on this matter, as a matter of fact, I interviewed A.K. Deku a few weeks before he died, and it's on tape. You can find it on YouTube and so on, his own confessions. The principal actor in organizing that coup was a Major Kwashi. How many people know this Major Kwashi? It wasn't Kutuka. It wasn't Afifa. The principal actor was a Major Kwashi, who was resident at the 37 Military Hospital. Indeed, it was in his house that all these plans took place and so on. And in my interview with A.K. Deku, I asked him what he thought of Nkrumah. And A.K. Deku said in that interview that in his view, Nkrumah was the best president that Africa has ever had. This A.K. Deku was part of the conspiracy to overthrow the Nkrumah government. And you can refer to that. Then I asked him, so why then did you join a conspiracy to overthrow him? He said his life was at stake. And that if he had chickened out, he would have been murdered.
By who?
By the conspirators. He didn't have room to opt out. The tape is there, his own voice and so on. So it is clear that the 1966 coup was a foreign-inspired conspiracy against the interests of Ghana and Africa. There is no doubt at all about it. You need to read John Stockwell, you need to read Philip Agee, and so on. It's clear. Clear as daylight. Now, again, it is not in doubt that after the 1966, February 1966 coup, our development efforts suffered severely. And Ghana began to experience a downward, spiral in terms of our development and so on. There's no doubt at all. So do you honor this coup d'etat? Do you honor this conspiracy against the Ghanaian national interest? That's the point. That's the point, nothing more. Now you have political parties which today claim that coup d'etats are an aberration, we should not encourage coup d'etats, and that under no circumstance should we tolerate coup d'etats. In fact, they argue that the worst multi-party democratic dispensation is better than a coup regime. That's the argument they put forward. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them. Because I know that some governments which emerge from this multi-party democratic dispensation can be worse than military regimes. And I can give examples, okay? But that's not the point.
That's another conversation.
That's another conversation.
Yeah.
But if they insist that coup d'etats, by their very nature, are bad, are condemnable, should not be encouraged, and so on, how do you name the international airport, Ghana's biggest, most advanced airport, after a coup maker? How do you do that? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the point. How do you do that? Today, all of us, even including the right-wing elements in Parliament and outside Parliament and so on, at least pay lip service to Pan-Africanism. How do you honor somebody who staged a coup against the foremost advocate of Pan-Africanism in the world, and then proceeded to actually dismantle guerrilla camps which had been set up here to liberate African countries under the yoke of colonialism, capture their leaders, and send them back to the colonialists to be killed? How do you honor him? How do you honor him? How do you honor Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka? And then this, and please, Moro, please, forgive my language. I've been struggling to find appropriate language. I cannot. Because the ethnic argument is so childish and backward, it's unbelievable. Why? That because he's Ever and he comes from the Volta region, if you change the name, the people of Ever and so on will be angry. Where is this argument coming from? I know as a fact that that after the 1966 coup, just bearing the name Fiawo was a problem. We wouldn't survive. Because one of the staunchest supporters of the Nkrumah government in the Kita area and so on was Fiawo. You understand? He was Fiawo. His children, I went to school with some of his children and so on. Just bearing the name Fiawo spelled calamity. The numbers of people who were thrown into detention without trial and charge included others. I can mention a whole list of names. Excuse me.
Sorry about that.
Now, even the attack on Flagstaff House, you know that the coup was resisted by the presidential guard over a long period of time.
Yeah.
The attack on Flagstaff House, Kojo Kyeremanteng killed others. Others who were in the presidential guard were not spared because they were others. They were killed. You understand? The coup d'etat, the ministers who were arrested and dumped into prison without charge and without trial included others. They included Reverend Boka, who was an Ewe. You understand? They included Reverend Boka, who was an Ewe. So how does this become an Ewe versus who? How does this issue become Ewe versus others? It doesn't make sense. It's pedestrian. It's unbelievable. And this is the leadership of the minority in parliament. Everything must be reduced to one tribe against the other. Can you believe it? I am completely disgusted by the level of debate. I am ashamed by the level of debate. Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana in 2026, we are going to take an important national decision. Whether you are for it or against it, come with sensible arguments and stop playing this tribal card. Because both of them are playing tribal cards. So if you're against the renaming, then you're against the gas. If you're for the renaming, then you're against the others. What level of
let me interrupt because I don't like. My gut feeling tells me that Uncle C Pratt is about to explode. Please come in before it's too late. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Uncle C is upset.
You've waked up the lion.
Yes. I'm sorry for waking that side of him up. He just had to say it as it has to be said.
Bro, anyway. You know something? Yesterday, you know, at the beginning of each parliament, leadership normally will hold a press conference.
Yeah.
And the majority leader, who is the leader of government business, will normally whet the appetite of the media and the House as to government priority areas for this particular sitting. So the majority leader laid out some few priority areas. And one of the priority areas of government is to rename the airport. I'm choosing my words very carefully. Moro, are you listening?
I'm listening very carefully, very attentively.
One of the priority areas for the government is renaming of the airports. Priority areas. Now, Moro, I don't know whether you've been to the airports recently.
Is it the government that said that, or you think it's one of their priorities?
That is the majority leaders informing us
that was their priority.
That the issue that will be discussed in this particular sitting includes the renaming of the airports. A bill will be presented.
Okay.
So this is like a cabinet decision. I'm not sure the majority leader will just come and say what he said without having some proud knowledge from government. He says that Transport Minister, as part of government priority areas this sitting, is to bring a bill for us to discuss the renaming of the airport. No problem. Have you been to the airport lately? You know that now if you park your car at the airport and you used to pay 100 cedis for a day, now you pay about 300 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Airfare from Accra to Kumasi on certain days, some can go high as 2,900.
Kumasi?
Yes. For a 20 minutes flight, 25 minutes flight. The priority of the government is not about this astronomical charges that we experience, but the renaming of the airport. Now, when I listen to the majority leaders' reasoning, and that's when Kwesi was speaking, I said, Kwesi, I am in full support of the arguments you espoused. When he said they are going to rename the airport to Accra International Airport because the airport is situated in Accra, and the land was given to the government by the Gans. I said, hey, Asababa. That is what necessitated the minority leader's response. That, hey, you are trying to please the Gans. What happens to the airways? That was the response. It was at the same press conference. What happens to the airways? Then they start going on that tangent. We are yet to see the bill and the memorandum attached to the bill for us to know the reasoning.
At least officially.
At least officially. The reason, the bill that will be laid in Parliament. If the memorandum comes, and one of the reasons why they want to rename the place is because it is situated in Accra, then we are in trouble. The government should get ready for a barrage of memorandums. Because a lot more people are going to send in petitions. Just yesterday, I heard the Venerable Ayuko Otu saying that, oh, Accra is too vague. And that the Gadangbe people will need one of their foremost people's name to be there. You see where the absurdities can go into? You see? This is Ayuko Otu. He's saying that no, Accra is too vague. It's just too big. It should have a name, a prominent gas name there. And Chebia, you hear the Kumasi people who have given lands to government to build other infrastructure, also coming back to request for a change of name. If this is the only reason why the name is being changed, then we are in trouble. Then the Cape Coast people, the Central Region people will come. Because all those lands are vested in those people. So the land that they gave to government to build the University of Cape Coast, then indeed, there must be a change. And that name must reflect some indigenes of the Central Region. Then we move to Takrade.
Not of the Central, of Cape Coast.
Of Cape Coast.
I mean, foolishness.
Then we move to Takrade. Takrade people will bring a petition that the Takrade Technical University must be renamed. Everybody will come with their own reasoning. That is my worry. And to think that this is a priority is even worse for me at this particular point in time. Why should this be a priority of government? For the minority leader to be telling us that in this particular sitting, we should be ready to debate a bill to change the name of Kotoka International Airport to Accra Airport only because it is situated in Accra. We are going to have this debate in Parliament. And this is the priority of the majority leader for this particular sitting. Hey, Moro, we should be careful in this country.
But you know.
And now see the tribal twist. Very dangerous precedent that you are trying to set. See the tribal twist. So this is an airway. Why are you taking the airway's name? Okay, no, this is a guy. Like it's unnecessary, Moro. Totally unnecessary. Unnecessary. Uncle made an interesting point, and just this when I was coming, you know, people are beginning to think that the reason why they want to take the name out is because Kotoka is a coup maker. How many coup makers do we have in this country? How many places haven't been named after coup makers? Do we go back to change all those names? If the only reason why the name is being changed is because it's a coup maker. Is that all?
But see, Collins,
It's
as a matter of principle, I won't have a problem if the government says as a matter of policy, we're changing names or we're changing whatever organizations or edifices and things that are named after coup makers. I don't have a problem.
See, Moro,
do you know why?
Yeah,
because as Uncle Kisi Pratt said, the last thing we want to do as a people is to glorifying coup makers.
So Moro, let me tell you something.
What is not sustainable? What is not sustainable was the earlier argument.
Yes, the point I'm making is, Moro, listen. Whether you change the name or not, when I'm going to Kumasi, I don't mind.
Well,
I'll just take my play and go.
Yes.
But when you're doing these things, you need a huge level of consultation and consensus building.
You think that, but you think that wasn't done?
I'm a member of parliament.
Okay.
I only heard of this reason just yesterday. The minority leader's rebuttal is clear to you that he was not privy to this discussion. I'm saying that open it up for discussion. Look at the argument Ankwesi made. Call a few groups. Look at what Ayukwetu is saying. As that tells you that the Ghana leadership was informed about this. It is just an announcement. I am saying that build consensus. If you all agree that, hey, this name is an affront to what we stand for, you build consensus. You will see that it will be easy for you to pass through.
You're right.
But if you because you have the numbers in the house, you just announce to us that you want to change. Yes, of course, you have the numbers. You can change. People will play politics with it. People will begin to play politics with it. And it's unnecessary.
You see, Moro, we cannot create the impressions that all coups are the same. And all coups are guided by the same principles. The 1966 February coup was special. It was special to the extent that now we have evidence. The evidence is there. I mean, there's a book titled The Great Deception, How the CIA Overthrew Nkrumah. That book is available. It's available at the Freedom Bookshop and so on, which is a republication of the declassified documents of the Central Intelligence Agency with comments. These authentic documents of the CIA, okay, which have been published, and which point to who organized that coup and how the coup was organized. Okay. So in discussing the 1966 coup, we are not discussing just any coup, but a foreign-inspired finance and organized coup d'etat against a popular African government.
Yeah.
You understand? So that distinction needs to be made. Now, I can understand the difficulty that somebody like Mahamadu Bawumia will have in articulating this position. Because if he makes the point that Kutuka participated in organizing a coup and so on, and therefore is not deserving of this honor, the throwback is that Mr. Rawlings,
who's the founder of their party,
who is the founder of their party and their hero,
would be affected
was
hugely.
also a coup maker.
And you'll be affected hugely.
And therefore, are you able then to name any national monument after Mr. Rawlings? Can you raise his profile the way they raise it and so on? That is the dilemma.
Thank you.
That he found himself in. And that is why he now resorted to ethnicity.
Yes.
As justification for this proposal. You understand? I firmly believe, and I've said this on many occasions, I've advocated for it, like many others, that the name of this airport needs to be changed. It's an insult to the Pan-Africanist movement. It's an insult to all those who aspire, to build a nation which guards its sovereignty and so on. And for these concrete political and ideological reasons, the name ought to be changed. But I cannot support this pedestrian argument that because it's located in Accra and the land for it was given by the people of Accra, it should be named Accra International Airport. So anything built in Apam should be named Apam. So anything built in Komansi, it should be named Komansi. And so, what kind of argument is that?
And some very senior Ghana indigenous have started raising issues about this, insisting that Ghana names should be there. If you go this way, then we have a problem. It becomes a problem. It's a no, bro. They're very serious issues.
Yeah.
They are very, very serious issues to be discussed.
But Collins, you should also pay some attention to your minority leader and his position is worse than Ayariga's position. His position.
What I said is that
Afenyo Markin's position is worse than Ayariga's position.
I said I'm in full support of the argument you made.
Okay.
And even said that I realized that the minority leader was trying to respond to Ayariga when Ayariga tried to play the gas sympathy. And he also tried to play politics with it and bring in the Ewe angle. And I'm saying that it's unnecessary. And for me, even the biggest worry is the fact that it's a priority of government. So cabinet met. His Excellency sat down and we're discussing this issue. And they told Ayariga to come and tell us that the reason why they are doing this is that the place is in Accra. Is that what cabinet was discussing? Because he, Ayariga, the honorable majority leader, he sits in cabinet. Is that the thinking of cabinet? And cabinet has sent him to come and tell us that they are changing this because it's in Accra. What kind of argument is this? We are just waiting for the bill to get the official memorandum that normally comes with the bill, which is the usual thinking behind the bill. I'm sure we'll get more insights into that. If this is the only reason why, as I said, then the government should be ready for more petitions. Already, the Gadangbe have indicated that they are going to bring a petition.
Well, I think that after
this station, for all you know, by extension of logic, should be called Accra TV.
Accra TV.
It's located
in Accra. The land was given to you guys by the gas.
Logically speaking.
By logical extension.
But I think that after this perspective that you shared, I'm sure that the authors of the memorandum would have a rethink. They definitely should have a rethink.
Yeah,
well, I'm assuming that the memorandum which is going to be attached in the bill may have a different...
Be more sophisticated.
Yes.
Better nuanced.
Yes, better nuanced. You know, than what we've been told by the majority leader. Otherwise, it will be very problematic. It's an argument that cannot be sustained, and I think that you have succinctly and clearly expressed it. I mean, it's difficult to sustain it. You know, I've been sitting here in the last 15 to 20 minutes just listening because it's absurd.
Is Nkrumah not deserving of it? Is Nkrumah not deserving of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology?
Of course he does.
He's more than deserved.
But how can you do that?
In fact,
when the land for the Kwame Nkrumah KNUST was given by the Ashanti people.
But that's the weakness in the argument.
Kumasi University.
Is that not the weakness of the argument?
So let me ask.
That's the point I'm making.
So let me ask.
It's insane to advance this argument.
So we so far in the last 30 minutes or so, monitoring the commentary you're making on this matter, quite clearly you have a problem not with the renaming. As at least from Mr. Kwesi Pratt's point of view, his problem is with the basis. The basis for renaming. But would it have made a difference if a different name was given to, or a different name instead of Accra International?
I have no difficulty with Accra International.
But why Accra is the problem?
The reason why I have no difficulty with naming it Accra International Airport is that any name you suggest will bring about renewed political controversy and so on.
True.
Accra is a neutral name.
Okay.
Understand? The resistance to Accra will be muted. You understand? As opposed to naming it, say, Buzia International Airport,
or even Nkrumah,
or Kwabena Agyapong International Airport,
yes,
or even Kwabena Nkrumah International Airport. So Accra is neutral. Is the perfect name.
So what would you have rather preferred the government says as their reason?
But I've said all of that.
The reasons. So far,
in the interest of a commitment to the preservation of national sovereignty,
Okay.
And all the other reasons.
Okay.
Pan-African commitments
That's
and
fine.
so on.
Okay.
You understand?
It's going to be an interesting debate on the floor. I've seen some members of parliament on their social media handles share views. Others say, so, no, we should name it after Nkrumah. Others are clear. At least I've read A+ argument to say that no, it should be Nkrumah. And I just tweeted to you about Ayuko.
Yeah.
They are happy with the change, but he doesn't want that craft.
Hey.
He wants that. He said he's speaking for the Gadangbe people, saying that they should have somebody, a guy. And that is where the challenge is.
So Greater Accra International Airport?
No, he wants a name. Like one
what is the Greater Accra? Then that ropes everybody.
That's where the challenge is.
Individual's name.
That's where the challenge is.
Okay, yeah. So Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo has waded into this whole conversation, and we all know him. He's an elderly statesman. Yeah. He's seen it all. He was there when all of these things happened.
As a matter of fact, my interview with A.K. Deku was arranged by Dr. Nyawo.
Oh, really?
Tamaklo. In fact,
they are friends?
Yes.
Oh.
He knew him. In fact, I think he was chairman of the Council of Elders of the NPP or so.
At some point.
So it was Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo who arranged this interview. And in fact, on that day, we drove together. You know, I drove ahead of him or behind him.
Yes.
To go and have this interview in the Volta region.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I owe him a huge debt of gratitude.
Right.
Now, this is a historical record which would have been lost if I hadn't done this interview. Nobody would ever have known that the main brain behind the coup d'etat was not Afrifa, was not Kotoka, but Emedo Kwashi. Nobody would have known that. Nobody would have known that the coup d'etat was actually plotted in the 37 military hospital. Nobody would have known that A.K. Deku thinks that Nkrumah was the best leader that Africa has ever produced. So I owe Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo huge gratitude for making this interview possible.
You know, the last time I had a discussion with Doc. And I spoke to him for about an hour and a half. He gave me great insight into even my party's history. He gave me great insight.
You know, he has a book.
The party's history.
Dr. Nyawo has this book. It's a very popular
It was launched recently.
Yes. I should get one of them. Anyway,
please tell him that I need an autographed copy.
Yeah, autographed copy. Yes.
Of that book.
He watches the show every single day. I mean, Doc, book here, autograph. Collins would be grateful. But he sends a message and he says, "Good morning, Moro. I have nothing against the naming being changed from Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. However, I believe strongly in this world. History is the best teacher. The fact that Kotoka was killed at that spot cannot be erased, and the fact that Kotoka led the coup against Shámeful Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is a historical fact that cannot be erased from our history. Let us educate our children and grandchildren about what really happened in this country and stop distorting historical events." Dr. Nyawo Tamaklo. Sam O'Brien Boabeng says, "Trump is the new standard of leadership every progressive country needs. He doesn't fake it. He calls things as they are. He doesn't hide his intentions. He's putting his country's interests first. Finish." Now, he says the beneficiaries of two senseless coups, June 4th and 31st December, are renaming Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport simply because Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka was a coup maker.
No, they haven't said that.
Yes, exactly.
They haven't said that.
So that's
not the reason they're
exactly.
At least officially,
right. Yes. Simply because Lieutenant General. So that's his view. This is not the government's position. So it says, don't we already have numerous institutions and landmarks named after Chairman Rawlings? What kind of warped logic is this? Your party founders chronic bloody are still fresh in the minds of Ghanaians.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.